won't stop till killer cops are in cell blocks. Can't stop.
The following newly released video portrays an incident of assault and violence at the hands of police. Viewer discretion is advised.
I suggest you back the fuck up.
No.
This is Baltimore City Police Officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz. In a newly released video shot in 2016, Ruiz is seen with his knee on the back of an unknown man with a gun pointed at the man's head. His message was a clear one. Concerned onlookers, adhere to my dictates or else. Here, we can hear Ruiz saying to Baltimore residents,
I suggest you back the fuck up.
No.
It is documented that Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz is a repeat violent offender, even without access to all complaints against Ruiz, undisclosed by BPD Internal Affairs records. 6 cases involving Ruiz are known. This video will briefly highlight 6 total cases beginning in July of 2013. Case 1, Abdul Salam, July 1st, 2013. Here, Salam is seen victoriously smiling in celebration after the jury found Ruiz and 2 other cops liable for brutality against him. However, because the trial was civil, not criminal, Ruiz was not fired and he did not go to jail.
Police profiled me. They followed me in the back of my house, harassing me. Police proceeded to violently and hostilely approach my van with me and my son in it. As I announced, this was my home, guns drawn. Once they reached my vehicle, they violently pulled me out, ramshacked my vehicle with my 3-year-old son strapped in his car seat, threw me against the gate, slammed me repeatedly, picked me up by my feet, and while I'm upside down, they proceeded to drop me on my head, hog-tie me, and immediately when I fell on my head, Ruiz, in a wrestling type of action, and kind of hit his knee against my neck. I was arrested. I had no idea what I was being arrested for. My son is scarred to this day. He remembers the incident as it happened yesterday. When he talks about it, he always refers to daddy being on the floor with police yesterday.
Case 2, Darrell Harris, profiled, as seen in this video, July 17th, 2013.
Yeah, Sid, what's wrong with it?
Improper way with
There's no such thing as an improper way.
You gonna tell me my job, bro?
I know the law.
Are you gonna tell me the law?
I know the law.
You gonna tell me the law?
I know the law. What's the problem? You giving me a ticket? You need my license registration?
Yeah, let me get it up.
Profile, y'all use the seatbelt as a reason. Profile.
So, do me a favor, take out your keys.
Yeah, you can record me. For what? Nah. I don't feel safe right now. Do you want me to step out the car? Do you want me to step out the car? I'll step out the car. Call the police, man. What do you call a supervisor? I won't do shit. This is getting uploaded to the internet right now. Yeah?
And we are 2 law-abiding citizens that we're getting targeted, and I don't know why.
Just 24 hours later, Bernardez Ruiz played a leading role in the police killing of unarmed Tyrone West. Case number 3, the murder of Tyrone West, July 18th, 2013.
My brother Tyrone West was brutally murdered on July the 18th, 2013.
In both of these cases, when you look at the pleadings and the harsh language of these officers that have been quoted to me by reliable witnesses, the N-word.
And Killer Ruiz and Killer Chapman and the rest of those 11 to 15 killers, including David Lewis, took something from my family that they could never give us again. And that was my brother Tyrone West, one unarmed man who was brutally murdered, beat to death in broad daylight.
Mic check, mic check. This is West Wednesday, number 466. We are calling for justice for all victims of police violence. Mic check, mic check.
Mic check.
Oh,
Mic check.
mic check.
And mic check.
Hold up, what happened?
Mic check.
Oh, yeah, I think I'm. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, so thank you guys for joining West Wednesday. And just like my brother Ben just said, this is week 466, day 3,266. That's a very long time to be fighting for anything. And more so accountability from killer cops. Like, it's ridiculous. But I don't care how many years, how many weeks, how many days. I am never going to stop until all 17 of those stinking killer cops are in the cell blocks. And I'm going to take it a step further. Not only those killer cops, I'm not going to stop until Kareem Game killer cop is in the cell block, to Anthony Anderson, to all of our family that are suffering from police terrorism. Killer cops are in a cell block. It is utterly ridiculous, and I get sick to my stomach every time I watch this weekly video that we show of Ruiz, who took an active leading role into murdering my brother Tyrone West. Literally, you see Darrell Hurst. This is 24 hours before. Same killer cops, just a different victim. But unfortunately, my brother is not here to be able to tell what happened to him. You know, it's just sad and disgusting. But I'm just like over Baltimore City Police Department. I'm over this system. It is corrupt to the core. But tonight, our special guest is my brother King Ryan and our brother Boom, PFK Boom. You know, they're frontline brothers, but unfortunately, Kareem Gaines is a victim, and it's horrible. A beautiful queen that knew the law and, you know, knew everything, and they feared her because they feared her voice. She was a powerful sister. She still is. I'm not even going to say was. She still is a powerful queen in my book. Like, literally, and the fact that Royce Ruby is not in a cell block is very disgusting, because not only did he assassinate Kareem Gaines, this stinking animal almost assassinated her baby. He shot her baby, her son, in the face. These killers will stop, and they won't stop at anything until they eliminate our families. They don't give a damn. And that's why we here. Just like I always say, I am my brother's keeper, and so is Ryan. He is his sister's keeper. So no further ado, I'm going to bring on our brother Ryan. Mic check.
Mic check.
Keep going in and out. Said I keep going in and out.
Yes.
Yes, I see you going in and out.
Yeah, and the internet is saying it's perfect. Because I'm actually on the phone.
I'm not sure why, but I'm going to keep bringing you back in if you get cut out again, okay? Don't worry.
See, I just went out, I believe.
Wow.
No, you're still here.
I still hear you.
No, we got you.
But again, I'll blame the technical issues on Facebook, all these like social media platforms, because they want to kind of silence our voice, but nothing. Because it's like every time we go to City Hall, I'll have my cell phone out, and they can be recording me, and I have a full battery. And as soon as I say one word they don't like, they wipe me completely out. And I see my brother's off the screen. So we're going to wait and bring him back in. I feel like he's going to come back in now. I think I see him trying to come back in. But this is ridiculous. But COINTELPRO is real. The way that they operate is real. Like, this is stuff that you cannot make up. So we're just waiting for our brother Ryan. We're waiting for our brother Ryan. And but all this time, guys, and I apologize again because we are late. We didn't start exactly 6:30. I apologize. I got caught in traffic coming from work. But the whole time we were, waiting to put this on, Ryan was talking to us fine. There was no disconnection. Everything was perfectly fine. But the screen wasn't going in and out or anything. Now all of a sudden he's going in and out. It's like that speaks in volumes. But they're still not going to stop us. So, but meanwhile, since we're still waiting on our brother Ryan, I'm going to check in real quick with my brother Boom. Mic check.
Mic check.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I'm right here. They ain't get me yet.
Do you have your camera on, brother?
I'm ready to turn it on. There it go, right?
Yep.
Yeah, well, see, it's either me or Ryan. Either I'm up and they take him down, or he be down and I be up. It's still going to get out. We good.
Exactly.
It's a new day. It's a new day. There's a lot of good things. Hey, go right there. There you go.
Yeah, it stays on for a few seconds. Just go like it just freezes for some reason.
Hey Ryan, try turning your phone sideways. You're at the top of your head getting cut off.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you
better?
go. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Awesome. So yeah, so brother, boom. Just real quick, I'm gonna see before they wipe his phone back out off again. Let's see if we can get a clear connection with our brother Ryan, our King Ryan. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
So the floor is all yours, my brother. Mic check.
Oh, okay. So so like I was saying, I was going in and out, so I didn't get much of the video, but it seemed like it was talking about basically police brutality. And basically what I want to say on the matter is, like, I mean, what can we do? Like, I don't know, like, you guys might be familiar with my sister's case. Like, how can a judge overturn a jury decision? Like, if that was up to the jury, like, how could they?
And now they got my brother frozen again.
Frozen.
Wow, they're playing a lot of games. So pretty much until my brother Ryan comes on, just in case this is your first time and you don't know who our beautiful queen is, Korryn Gaines, a mother, a beautiful queen. And a brother, I'm just explaining the case real quick, and hopefully they won't cut you in and out again. But Korryn Gaines was brutally executed. Literally, first of all, it was over a traffic stop. Let's be clear. In the video Brian is referring to that we were showing at the beginning was actual victims of Ruiz, the officer that murdered my brother. We had victims on that survived his brutal, heinous attacks. But nevertheless, Korryn Gaines pretty much, it started as a traffic stop, literally. And then pretty much they went to our house to serve traffic, a court order for a traffic stop. It wasn't nothing else, a traffic stop. So let's be clear on the facts. It was a traffic stop that started everything with these killer cops. And then let's be also clear, she had a right to bear arms in her house to protect her family. She had a registered weapon to bear arms. Let's be crystal clear. She wasn't breaking any type of law, doing nothing wrong. But the fact that literally Royce Ruby decided to play judge, jury, and executioner, he went in. He didn't give our beautiful queen mother time to try to talk out. He just went in because he knew he wanted to execute Korryn Gaines. He didn't contact the family. He was just like, I'm tired of this SHIT. You know what I mean? I'm ready to end it. And he went in, and while she's in the house with her baby son, making her baby son Cody a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, trying to talk him through. And then she was on Facebook Live. And that's why I don't trust Facebook Live. I don't trust any social media. That's why, whereas though they keep cutting us off, I know they all work hand in hand. It's just like the system. They all in it together. Everybody in the bed together, working against our demise. It is what it is. I'm going to call it. It's not the West Coalition. This is me speaking from my perspective. But nevertheless, the joys of our own peers found Roy, what's his name? Roy Ruby or whatever his name is, the killer cop. They found the killer cop guilty and literally awarded the family, even though it's not about the income, it's about the outcome, but they awarded the family a healthy settlement, right? Which none of that brings back our loved ones, but the fact that they won the case, do you know the prejudiced judge had the nerve to go over top of what the jurors said and say, you know what, we don't think the family deserves this, and that the jurors got it wrong, and they act off remorse. They didn't act off the fact, like, are you freaking kidding me? We never heard of such. So if I'm not mistaken, our brother Ryan was asking literally, how do that happen? So I'm gonna see if he's ready to come back in, or if his mic is not clear now. I'm gonna see what's going on. So did I get it right, brother? Mic check.
Mic check.
But I'm pretty sure you got it right.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Like I said, and I just was texting you. I apologize because
Oh no, you good.
Excellent. I don't know what's going on.
I know what's going on. They trying to stop us, but they
You
not.
know what? That's in my mind too.
Because remember, before we got on live, we were talking fine. You didn't have any disconnecting issues, no type of connectivity issues. Everything was rolling fine, and now it's like bam. But they not gonna stop nothing. But go ahead, my king. Go ahead and say whatever you want to say. Mic check.
Mic check.
Wow, this is this is something. That's why I can't wait till we get our own media and stuff like that, because again, he's saying that he's connected to his Wi-Fi. He has a full battery. There's no reason this stuff should be happening like that. And it wasn't. I promise you guys, none of this was happening until we went on live. So
hey Ryan, I see that you're at your computer. Is it possible you can try to connect from your computer instead?
Hold on, let me see. It said join and ask for a link. I guess I will have to get the link. Hold up.
So what I'll do is I'll send you the link again and send it to your email and open it up from there. If that maybe that'll work. But I'll resend you the link again and send it to your email, and that way it'll open up again. So while we're waiting for our brother, I'm gonna bring our brother Boom on. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Oh, I'm here. Oh, ho.
Is Boom fading out too?
Yes.
This is
crazy.
very interesting.
Right. This is crazy.
Oh, but I'm glad. I mean, I'm not glad this is happening, but I just want people out there to really know what's going on. This is absurd right now at this point, like unreal. But nevertheless, we're having technical issues with my brother Boom as well as our brother Ryan, and I really think this is purposely happening. Like we were chatting a good 15-20 minutes before we got on live doing the mic check thing. Everything was working fine. Now we're on live. This is bumping them off. So yeah, but it's not going to stop us at all. So yeah. Meanwhile, I'll go to my sister Queen. Is Angela still in queue? I want to see if she wanted to say anything. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Queen. Hey sis, how y'all doing?
All right.
No, I didn't really want to say anything, but this is like peculiar. They always want to start playing with the technology, and they start jamming up people's signals when they need to speak the truth. So they don't want to hear the truth. They already know the truth, but they don't want to hear it. Mic check.
Hello.
Awesome. So I see both our brothers are back. So I'm gonna try again with Ryan. Ryan, mic check. Can you hear us?
Mic check.
Mic check for the moment, yeah.
All right, and if it cut off, I got another remedy solution with either one of y'all. So if it cut off again, I can actually give y'all phone number to Uncle Bill, and he can bring you guys through the audio part. Even though we won't get to see you guys handsome face, but we'll get to hear you guys if that's okay, and it won't be that disconnect issue. That's what I was going to text you guys back. So if it keeps freezing, Ryan, I'll just give Uncle Bill your number. He can call you, and we can get you clear on here live with no disconnection from his end. And as our brother Boom say, putting skin in the game, Uncle Bill gonna use his white skin to put y'all in the game. You gotta make light of this foolishness. So Ryan, are you still frozen? All right, so go ahead, brother Boom, and I'm gonna send Ryan that message.
Mic check.
Can y'all hear me? Y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, we hear you, boo.
All right, we got it. We gotta get straight to it. At least, see, it's acting up. Can y'all? I don't think y'all can hear me. See, it's going in and out.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, y'all can hear me the whole time, even when it's freezing.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
cool. We gotta get straight to the. All right, we gotta get straight to the point. First of all, I like to thank you for letting me come on the same. Salute to West Wednesday. Salute to the ones who are still they're in the field. They don't. I just wanted to come straight to the point where what we, in the new growth, the new PFK is what I've been bringing to the table. And what I'm saying is, we right now we working on as a whole. We great start a new party, and one thing we great start is a party. It's going to be for the people, just like we did the Garage Her. And I don't see no green anywhere. Meaning, the topics that they had, okay, they here, they're not in the community, but it did show us a lesson that we can create one ourselves. The ex-offenders in Maryland agree with what I'm saying, because we don't want to come out of a Democratic Republican situation when that has a lot to do with incarceration, all that. So we're going to try to fight to create another party. Can y'all still hear me? Can y'all still hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Yeah, we hear you. Go.
Yep, we
All
can
right.
hear you.
We all okay. We're going to stay on that path. The political party is not going to show its face for 10 years. My kids, your kids, I got grandkids that's 6. We are going to form like an executive, judicial, legislative branch, choose a president and everything, and we're going to run it for 10 years, still having a foot in the present political scene, because we need to know what is going on. But again, we got too many people to the dissatisfaction to the side, on the sideline, saying they don't want to be in a party. It's not that they don't want to vote. It's just they have nothing to vote for nor nothing to fight for. So again, I believe that if we go that way, some of these issues we have, is too many gatekeepers for the past 30 years that if it gets to one politician, the other politician is willing to chip that one, so that Tyrone West, Corinne Gaines, and many Freddie Grays, and many of these topics that will forever be on the minds of my grandchildren forever will be washed away. As we do that, people that do want to run as young kids today that want to run, things like that, they got brothers, sisters, cousins that have been murdered, and they got a voice. They want to run. We now need to get behind them and let this old, what we call old parliament, slowly roll out. Silence is a form of power. When you don't make any noise, but you're working, they're going to want to know what's going on. And we already know what's going on with our agenda. When I say that, in this party, we're going to have 10,000 people that is willing to put up money, so that when we have our own issues of independent investigations on murders in our community, we already have money right there to go get lawyers to exhume bodies and all these things that we fall into mishap with. So secondly, outside of that party, we got a new nation in Baltimore called Dads United. Dads United, I'm not political arm of Dads United. We've been silent since 2017, just got on Good Morning America. We are losing dads by the truckloads. When I say dads, it take a lot to be a dad, easy to be a father. I say that is that when you get locked up, or me, I get gunned down. I got 6 kids. I know my little brother right here is going to make sure that mine is all right. But if my little brother ain't financially took care of, I want him to take care of my kids. But he has a financial help from Dads United, West Coalition, all these other things before we ask Victims Compassion Fund and all these other things from the state. We right now today, when you got a young kid or a young grandkid, you got to look at that kid and say, do we want Biden's grandkids raising these kids, or are we going to take a better approach? And we got to start now, because we both and all know that the words that we're saying is sort of like falling on deaf ears. Brandon will be about 68 years old. His grandkids will be in, and we'll be still talking about the justice of Tyrone West, and then whereby then our grandkids will be coming through with our stories right on their backs, marching through, still knowing, what the tone is. So not to take up everybody or nobody time. We have no time to waste, and nothing is wasted. If we just sitting back barking about Biden and them in Annapolis do not supposed to handle the ills of the ex-offender community, and Baltimore is a very ex-offender-led community. This is a very 70%, and only 30% are civilians, and that's who really feeling this pain of what's going on. It's not a political issue, it's just that we got to take a more vanguard approach and just create a whole party that will have our judicial ills in there. And again, we can handle our judicial approach the way we want to handle it. And I believe pressure bust pipes, and if they had about 10, 15,000 showing up at their doors, it's only going to take a week to get an answer. We just need more pressure. And again, at $100 a week times 54 weeks times 10,000 people, you will have politicians knocking on your door to bring justice to Korryn Gaines. But no money means no power. And again, we do not need to work like old approaches. And I just believe us taking a more stance politically, but not with the politicians, I think we'll get a more better result. And sending people to run for office, and sending people to be judges, and sending guerrilla prosecutors that's willing to lock police up. If they knew they had us, they would do it. If they knew they had the people behind them, they would send politicians to jail. Marion Barry would have sent somebody to jail because he had the streets. So we all we need. I just say all to say that we are losing, but we are winning. And the only way that we win is that we get a political stance. And the only way we do that is that if I looked up one day and Tawanda Jones was running for office, I guarantee you that half of the city will vote for her because just the half of the work she do. I wouldn't want her to, because who would replace her on the ground? A Negropean. And I don't want that. So I'm on the ground, Tawanda on the ground, Gaines on the ground, Mr. Bill on the ground. But again, we just have to make some new leaders that's willing to take the political seats and have new people that's willing to roar in Annapolis, show up in Annapolis 30 deep on a drop of a dime. And I have no problem and believe that we can do that. We can do that. I have 30,000 goons that'll show up at your door if you do something wrong to me. Well, now I'm trying to turn that ideology around, and I will to have 30,000 at the door when you do something to, because we got, I think Mr. Gaines, I have 4 daughters. I think he got a lot of daughters. Man, him back is against the wall. We got daughters here. We you know, we dads united. We against the wall. You gun him down. That's 8 young girls out here. I think I got like 3 daughters. I got 4. That's 7 young girls. That's behind. He got 4 daughters. I got 4. That's 8 young ladies that's hoping that 2 dads don't get gunned down. That's pretty, that's asking for a lot in Baltimore, Baghdad. So I'm asking us to help each and every one of us, or it's going to be a lot of Tawandas and a lot of my daughters out there by themselves, because me and this young man, as he knows, as what we also do in the conflict, collateral damage, that if you know that my little brother, if you caught him about a year ago, this young man, I mean, I'm so proud of him. I'm very proud, man. I'm so proud of this. I mean, I left Baltimore for a year, and my little brother still stayed in this, and I'm proud of him of how he held that that siblings are murdered siblings thing. My sister got murdered, his sister got murdered, Tawanda brother got killed like that, and for us to be able to not go, we could, like I told Tawanda, unfortunately, my son got shot 9 times last September. Nobody knows that, but me and Tawanda said something, that when you see PFK Boom or Tawanda put down the mic and put down the picket signs, that's when you need to worry. And I don't think you seen me with no mic, and you ain't seen me with no picket signs in the last year. So the fools are not worrying, and we are moving forward ahead. But again, we all we got, and as I always told y'all, we all we need, even if there's only one person willing to fight with me. So again, we are in great times right now. So again, just, you know, put on your book bag, tie your boots up, because you are not going to be ready for the greatness that's willing to come, because you never seen it before. So I just say for us to get ready for what you're asking, for what Tawanda been fighting for and Gaines been fighting for, because it will happen. Be ready.
Yeah, that was real deep.
I love how you broke that down, my brother, and I just love all the work you did. And that's why I was worried about you, because when I ain't see you, I said, yeah, he did that. Once this, just like I told you, don't fear me as long as you see me on here. Fight and fear me when you don't see me. Fear me when you don't hear anything, because it is what it is, and yeah.
And I salute all the parents and the people because I never experienced my son getting shot. Baltimore is not a city where a lot of people make it, so I didn't even have a lot of people whose son been shot and made it. I have people who families who family members died, so coming around them was almost like a opening wound in them to have my son alive. So it's not a lot. I had to go search out someone like my big brother and other people. And again, we all we got, we all we need. But I say to you, I'm a changed man, and Baltimore did that to me. So don't blame me, blame Baltimore.
Yeah, that's wild. And again, I got a lot of respect for my brother Boom. And just to let you guys know that Boom has been out here literally forever, like literally. And I just thank him, like no matter what city, state I'm in, it don't matter. Once I tell him my locations, he always sends somebody to me to make sure I'm straight. It has never been a time. I could be in Ferguson, I could be in New York, I could be anywhere. This king will definitely be like, where you at? You good? I got you. Then somebody will call me or show up and say, hey, Boom sent me. You know, and then also, for us, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a video that went viral with Pastor Jamal Bryant. And the reason why Boom was in his feelings and emotions, because he knew that Pastor Jamal had never ever came to a West Wednesday, never ever supported the cause, never ever. You know, and then he showed up at the last minute, and Boom and them, when they G-checked him, they called it G-check. But when they did that, I was not around. They waited till I left, and it was on happen. You know, he just had that question to ask him, like, what are you doing here now? Like, this man been dead for years now, and now you decide to show up? When all this time, the family was reaching out for you just to have a word to lift, you know, uplift them in the word of God, or just put them, you know, since you got ties to the city, just connect me to the right people. Wouldn't do none of that. So we have to watch out for these poverty pimps. I don't care. They come in all shapes, forms. You know, all shapes, riding, blowing kisses, putting up his middle finger, doing cuts like this, all type of foolishness. As soon as I told my man Boom got there, we didn't see police officers in the whole 2, 3, 4 hours we was out there. Not an ambulance, nothing. Nothing.
We all we got. And I'm trying to tell you that I would salute to all the fathers that taught me how to do that. See, we never had no leaders that I knew of. I knew Mayor Schaefer from off of Donald Duck on TV. I never really seen the cat. From the very work you see a Boom do, or you see a Shorty do, or somebody do, this is what the men that was in front of us was doing. And when we see those men getting gunned down, taken out of the community, locked up, called deadbeat dads or whatever, it took an anger and a hurt to us young men that was 40 years old that had to take the drips of the crack era with our dads gone. So when you see the lack of a lot of fathers or men stepping up in the community, is that they didn't see no men in the community. A lot of women get to see a lot of women, but all males are not men. So I don't do anything. I do salute the appreciation that Tawanda and many of us get, but it's because a lot of Tawandas and many others never got to see what a real man actually do. And when a lot of women see me, they just be saying, that's a real man right there. That's all, he's just doing man shit. But some people look at it as superhero. Our grandfathers with the city hall. Our grandfathers had brotherlyhood meetings. Our grandfather was in some of the biggest conflicts to resolve families fighting against each other. They didn't need safe streets. They didn't need a ceasefire. If our grandparents thought they needed a ceasefire or a safe streets because somebody under 25 and under 1 to act up, all our guess what that was called? It was called the Deacons of Defense.
Oh, wow.
Let's talk. That was grandparents. That was granddaddies. You want to act up? They coming. Martin Luther King even needed them to help him in a lot of things he was doing. They were granddaddies, just men standing up, and Ted Sutton, family member, was one of those people. His father and uncles and them was deep in that. So I'm just saying that when we are looking for leaders, maybe we need to just look in our communities to the Tawandas. Tawanda is doing and had to be activated into a nurturing village state, but she was nurturing our house at once. Like Tawanda be the first to tell you, she wouldn't, if you had to pick activism, I guarantee you the average person, if you knew what you had to do, you'd stay at home, and I respect that you do. If you knew what you really had to do, really what you really had to lose, what you signing up for, your kids getting shot, your kids getting killed, you getting killed, you losing your job. In Maryland, you can get fired on site. They don't need you wear a Black Lives Matter shirt if you want, working out Pearl County, your ass getting fired. It's just facts. So it's a lot of things and losses that Tawanda and many others have. That's why I said we don't have no time to waste, because you could pick a side. I've seen a lot of people put a lot of work in this front line and stuff because of emotion, and then went back to work, and now they got mental issues. Now they stressed out. Now they depressed because they didn't keep on going. Don't come into this and leave out. And again, I salute you, Tawanda, as a female. That's why if you look in history, the females are the warriors who got us this far, and we, the men, stole the template from the Nefertitis and all them. That's why there's no written history of what women really can do. And that's why Baltimore is atrocious, because it has no real strong women movement. Show me one. I'm not talking about NAACP. I'm talking about one movement, no men allowed, straight up, where I can go in there to learn how to better treat a woman. Like, there is none. The only movement I know is West Wednesdays, where I see the most women that's in pain, that's running their game and putting that pain in the streets. That's all I'm saying. We need more women empowerment groups except church.
Amen.
That's all I'm asking for. When you're raising a man, I'm only an individual. When you're raising a woman, you're raising a nation. That's why me and Mr. Gaines was orchestrated by God to raise 4 daggone daughters. My daughters is harder to raise than my sons. That is easy. Only got to be me. To raise my daughters, I have no daggone clue. So I need Tawanda. But if Tawanda got to deal with the pain in her heart, and Sister Nicole, that's what it's designed for. We are no longer we ain't numb, but we ain't dumb. But I think we've been through this hurt before, that is like a revelation that we could just say, bring it. Bring all of them. Come on. Come on. If you're going to do it, come on. Wherever you're, I'm not hiding. I'm on. Like, come on. Like, see, when you tell them like that, come on. When you do it like that, and we keep coming when they try to stop the lie, come on. Bring it. See, they don't want that. Bring it to the bully. Stop running from the bully, and stop just using our pen. After we used our pen, show up at his house, but we don't say nothing. We got on masks for 24 hours. That's militancy. Don't say nothing. Then we leave. I bet you the legislation will pass with masks on our face, because they don't know who we are. We're not a face. We're not a person. We are a message, and we are a correction. That's all. We not West Wednesday. West Wednesday's a whole bunch of people. So we got to really start. Don't change the mission. Add other strategies and obstacles. The same way they send my friends at me to be informants, the same way they send my cousins at. They're not going to send you nobody that you don't know. Half of the movement from 2015 has been co-op.
Yes.
Baltimore City movement has been infiltrated, and what they did was use the platform of infiltration, because Baltimore had one of the most powerfulest movements in reference to police brutality in the United States, and what they did was use their COINTEL, and they spread it all around. That's why you don't hear nothing from Ferguson. You don't hear nothing from where none of these big people got killed at. Is because of the COINTEL and buyout of the Negropean, and because people don't understand frontline. When I walked away, do you know some people were saying, because they did not know where I was at, they thought I took some money from the goddamn politicians. My son got shot 9 times. Could I take a minute?
Right.
Boone can't get a minute. Tawanda can't get a minute. My son gets shot 9 times. He back up in 90 days. Could I at least put some bandages on him and get to the front line? But if I leave the front line, oh, Boom must took some money. Oh, they must have got Boom, or he ain't doing no more work. You got to understand that the very people who say they was for Malcolm and Martin was the very people that was against them when they were here. Listen to their daughters. Listen to their mothers. Their daughters said out of their mouths that most of y'all black people did not rock with my father. Y'all was in a trance. So be quick. As I always told y'all, all black is not this. If you're looking from this from a black perspective, then you already lost.
Right.
That's why it's going to be a black person that gets your plan from. You see, when you're thinking, I never thought like that. That's why my success in what I do is so impeccable. I'm not anti-white, and I'm not pro-black. All black ain't black, all white ain't white. That's why I'm not pro-black and I'm not anti-white. Because all black ain't black, all white ain't white. They got abolitionists, they got white abolitionists, they got black abolitionists, they got Jewish. Most people don't even know how to spell the word abolitionist. So we all we got, we all we need. I'm not going to take up all our time, but the time that Tawanda get, I know that me being on this live, that a bullet may come to me walking right outside because of what I say. Don't talk like this. Don't live like this, and get out of our way so that we can do this work, because we're going to die. And when you're getting out of here. But one thing you remember, your writings and your books that you write and you self-publish and you get it to the people that need it will be here longer than your body parts. You remember that. You write that book to your grandkids. You write that book, and it might just be to yourself, and you self-publish it. But they're going to knock down YouTube. They're going to knock down lives. And what is our babies going to have to say what happened to Tyrone West, Freddie Gray, and Corinne Gaines if it does not come from the hands of PFK Boom, Tawanda Jones, Mr. Gaines, Nicole speaking on her issues, Anthony Anderson's son? If it don't come from our hands, then we have allowed the opposition to write that history, and you do not want that. So blame it on us, and we do not write to make it right. We write a lot of things, but are we writing for the betterment of us and our family? We looking for the book, but we are the book. We need to start. We can write a joint frontliners book. We need Tyrone West story in there, Gaines story in there. It could be the stories of the front lines of Baltimore. Everybody put their story in there, but they great get rid of us. And see, when you think like that, you work better. You're not guaranteed to be here on this live speaking the way you do. We barely got Gaines on here. Let's come on. Really know who y'all are. Really know the jeopardy you putting your kids in, because my kids know what time it is after their brother got shot, and he was what they call a good boy.
Absolutely. And I want to just say I just commend you for everything you're doing. I love you. And I know the distracts, like, because this front line is something that we ain't asked for. It's something we was pushed into. When your sister got killed, you was pushed into this. And then when you start being a big voice, they do stuff. Just like they killed my cousin. My cousin Tavon Anderson was executed last year. They expected for me to jump off, you know what I mean, and just be in the background, whatever. I had to still wear all this on my sleeve and still rock it out. So I definitely commend you. And also, I'm going to let you guys know that our brother Ryan is back with us, even though you're not going to be able to see him, but he is on the audio. You will be able to hear him. So we're going to bring our brother Ryan in right now as we're speaking. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Ryan, the floor is all yours. Mic check.
Man, they better not be playing with my little bro.
Not again. And my Stevens voice, not again.
Cold-blooded. Be great. Make us a Netflix.
Well, Uncle Bill's would have been bringing them in, so let's check in with Uncle Bill. Uncle Bill, mic check.
Mic check.
Wow, they done wiped out Uncle Bill. Wow. I'm telling you, that's how
Right.
powerful Ryan is. That's how powerful Ryan is. So real quick, while we're waiting for the foolishness to pass by, I just wanna send a lot of love out to my sister Angela. As always, her brother Timothy Flemings was actually executed in his home. Just like Corinne Gaines was murdered in her home, he was murdered in his home, and unfortunately, Timothy Fleming's children are still there to this day in that home. The babies are still there to this day. A year later, they're still in that home where killer cops decided to play judge, jury, and executioner and put bullets in our brother. Ridiculous. And the babies are still in that home. And not only that, Merlin Mosley had yet to release the autopsy report. You know, it's all on her desk. A year later, still no autopsy report. That is beyond mind blowing. So I just want to always send love out to her. Always, Sister Queen Nicole, send love out to her as well, because for her to have to lose her daughter, her beautiful daughter, Aja, right? And then turn around 2 weeks before that, she lost a father-in-law that she never got a chance to meet. And she's still out here fighting, still out here advocating, being on both corners, the victim of police brutality and so-called community violence. But I always say, until you got active suspects, I'm starting at the pig's house. First I said it.
Mm-hmm.
To me, they are the cops. They are the robbers.
Yes.
The whole entity. So, yeah, but Nicole, I'm going to check in with you real quick to see if you want to share anything while we're waiting. Mic check.
Mic check. I just want to say that this is really sad that this is still going on after all these weeks, months, years, and we still do not have accountability for our loved ones. I have had the pleasure of speaking with Boom in person and hearing him speak live. The brother has some powerful words, and this is just crazy. And like you said, or whatever, standing up on both sides of the fence for my father-in-law, Anthony Anderson, and my daughter, I.J. Herard, who was set up by the Baltimore City Police due to her witnessing a murder. So once she witnessed that murder and the police came to question her, they wrote her death sentence right then and there. You are not supposed to question a minor without a guardian or a parent or a lawyer being present. My daughter was 16 years old. She really didn't know anything. They took her down for questioning, and somebody knows somebody that knows somebody. And the word got out, and she was rendered a snitch. And what do you do with a snitch? You get rid of it. And that's what they did to my baby. After having to be there to have my husband, he's now my husband, but we weren't married at the time. His father, Anthony Anderson, was murdered by the Baltimore City police officer 2 weeks before my daughter. So trying to be there for him, trying to be a shoulder for him, loving him, being there for him in any way that I could, and I saw fit, only for this man that was going through all this pain and suffering had to then straighten himself up, put his feelings aside for me to lean on his shoulder because my daughter was murdered. His wounds were still fresh. I mean, he was still basically trying to get it through his mind how these cops that were sworn in to protect us were the ones who ended his father's life. So now he has to be there to console me, even while he has all of this going on in his life. And I commend my husband, Marcus Pettiford, aka Dream. He's well known in the community. He does what he can to try to support and help people in any aspect. We even own a football team, a semi-pro football team, to try to help get some of these guys off the streets. Because if you have something positive to do, you can think about something positive you want to do. So that's why a lot of times he's not here on the live stream and stuff like that. And I'm here representing him as well. He wants to be here, but he's busy and he's trying to maintain and make sure we still can live, you know, with the bills and stuff paid. So we are a group that work together. He take care of the bills and the money, and I'll be his voice and his eyes and ears for his dad and my daughter. Mic check.
Mic check. So I'm gonna check in real quick to see if, for some reason, now Bill's mic is unable to come on live. At first, you see he was talking, he volunteered, everything was good. So now I'm going to check in to see if we can hear Uncle Bill. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I just told Bill to disconnect and reconnect again. He wasn't here during the mic check when we first started, so I'm not able to tell whether his system is working, but right now I'm neither seeing nor hear him, so I'm asking him to reconnect.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, yeah, this is really interesting. But again, I apologize because I know that you guys were really interested in hearing our brother Brian, whose sister.
How about now?
Hello?
Can you hear
me now? We can hear you now. We can't see you though.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Ryan's going to come through on the phone now.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, Ryan, it's all yours.
Okay, so I'm trying to say good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah.
I guess you guys know I'm the brother of Corinne Gaines. She was killed back in 2016, August 1st, by a Baltimore SWAT team. I'm sorry, I get emotional when I say it sometimes, but you know, the SWAT team, you know, they killed her back in 2016. You know, to this day, it feels like it happened yesterday. I know you guys mentioned that that we need, you know, more soldiers, more feet in the street, and sometimes I lack in that in that action part. You know, sometimes I'd rather sit in the house. You know, I go through a lot. I don't know. Mr. Wanda, you know, lost her brother. And I just, I love her enthusiasm, how she can just get out there and, just bring awareness. I'm still, growing and trying to get that. Right now, I find joy in just, printing her name on clothing and just, selling them to people and just, getting her name out there, story still told, still remembered. I'm going to be a little everywhere, you guys. You guys still with me?
Oh, yes. We still there. Yes. And you don't have to be sorry about anything, my king.
And as far as the police go, I don't know where to start with that, but I mean, we definitely need a change, and I'm with I'm bringing the pressure to their houses, or bringing the pressure to the political people houses. But yeah, something needs to be done. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional.
Oh no, you don't have to be sorry about anything, my king. You have every right to get emotional. Because I literally last night I cried myself to sleep thinking about all the horrific things that was done to my brother. Like I literally cried myself to sleep, and I woke up tossing my phone in the air, like having a nightmare. Like so.
Yeah, it's just, things just, just unfair. It's like the same rules. And when I say us, like, I don't even believe it's a black and white thing anymore. I really believe it's a low class and, and a high, it's between a low class and high class. Because how can, we, like, when we commit a crime, we're prosecuted to the highest, extent of the law. But, when they do it, it's qualified immunity, it's I fear for my life. Like, I just don't get things like that. Like, why aren't we all held to the same, to the same accountability? Cops and all, cops, politicians, just everyone. And I think that kind of what puts me in the show, because it's like, be damned if you do, be damned if you don't.
Wow. That's true. That's this dirty system, and I agree with you. I agree with you 1,000%. Like, it's real. And just to let you know, Ben is awesome, because right now, we hear you, but he has a nice, elegant picture of you, powerful picture of you as you're talking. you're on the screen, so everybody's getting to see you as well. So
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
yes.
Okay.
I heard you, but it was kind of low.
But I agree, my brother, with what you're saying. And I want to check in real quick to see if our brother Marcellus was able to join us. I know something was going on a little earlier, but I see a lot of comments and questions, and I definitely want to check in and see what everybody's saying. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
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 So, Brother Ben, is Marcellus available or no?
It appears as though he has disconnected.
Okay, it's a lot of that disconnected.
Exactly.
He left a message. He says, "I'm in an area with poor mobile service right now, and I'm helping my mom. I'm gonna try to jump back on later."
Okay, well, is there any way that anybody can read what's on the screen? Some of the questions or comments would greatly be appreciated. Mic check.
I can read that.
Appreciate
Twanda?
it. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, if you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay. Starting off, Karis Haslam. This says mic check. Bill says, glad to be here for West Wednesday, the weekly rally live stream, fighting to win accountability for Tyrone West and all victims of police terror. Nelson Ellis says, one unarmed man, mic check. AC Britt says, mic check, and then, hey, Boom, hey, Ryan. And then he says, all judges are just as corrupt, and they're all practicing extreme overreach right now. And then he notices the interference is extra tonight.
Yes, right.
And so this feels like an old school West Wednesday. I love it.
Yeah.
And 100% and 10. That's all from AC Britt. He's been pounding out these day, and so that's all we've got right now.
Awesome, and thank you for that, Brother Brian. So I definitely want to check back in with our brother Ryan as well as our brother Boom to see if y'all want to add anything before we go to our horrible list of police brutality as well as community violence. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
So, Brother Ryan, real quick, can I ask you a few questions if you don't mind?
Yes, Queen, absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, so
Ryan, sorry.
Yes. So I would love to ask you, because I don't want you leaving off of here on like a real sad note, because I noticed that you was getting choked up. And I always, what I do to reflect and helps me get my strength is I think of the good moments and the good thoughts with my brother. So can you tell us any good thoughts or memories that you have of Karam Gaines? And she's a beautiful queen. Like, she is drop dead gorgeous. Like, but can you tell us any like memories or anything that you would like to share with us? Mic check.
Well, some of our best memories we have together. We weren't the same age, but we were close in age. So, I played Pop Warner football. While I played football, she always, she was on the cheerleading squad. So, it was just, always loving, just looking over and seeing your sister cheer for you, just being at all your games. Like, she's one of the ones that literally came to every one of my games, high school, Pop Warner. It just didn't matter.
Aww. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's amazing. And I want to check in with Boom. Boom, do you want to tell us like a good memory of your beautiful sister that, you lost to community violence? If you would like to share a beautiful memory or moment about your beautiful queen, mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. And can you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was asking. I said thank you for sharing that beautiful memory with us. That made me smile. Thank you so much. And I was
no problem, Queen, at all.
Yeah, and I was asking our brother Boom, did he want to share a memory of his sister who was, lost through community violence? Do he want to share a beautiful memory of his sister? Mic check.
Mike check.
It seemed like we lost our brother Boom. This is really interesting. And I will go to my sister Nicole. Nicole, okay, I see Boom.
Boom just reconnected.
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
So, Boom, I don't know if you heard it before you got disconnected, but Ryan was sharing one of his beautiful moments, and he was telling us how when he was like, whatever, like he was doing, his sister would always come and she was cheering, like Corinne Gaines to come there and cheer for him and all that stuff. That was a beautiful memory. And I was asking you, because I know you lost your sister through community violence. I wanted to know if it was a beautiful moment or memory that you would like to share of your sister. Mike check.
Mike check.
Well, definitely. One of the biggest moments is, like my sister, me and her was like, well, what I would say is like I learned how to read and do math and all that before I got to kindergarten. So you know how you played school and all that when you was young. Well, that's what we had to do that because we ain't do no TV and all that. My mother was a Panther, so my sister was like, while mom and dad gonna go get the bread, because I had both my parents. My sister was the one who taught you all the math, all the reading, all the Spanish, all the so even today, to this very day, for the knowledge that I got today, or how I'm an avid reader, avid word lover, you can't play with me with words. I know the definition, I know the meaning. I would salute that to her. And with that, her giving that lesson could never be taken away. You know how they say something like, knowledge is power, and just learning words. I could salute that to her because she was an avid poem writer to the day she died, because she loved words, but she didn't love the world. She loved words, as she taught us. That's why we love books. We don't love people. We love books, but we don't love people. And she taught, that's how I began to love people, through books. So Shorty basically probably taught me love on earth, you know what I mean? In an unloving world. So with that being said, any love being shown, any LOV being shown through me, it has to be taught. And I could really say she probably, was the one that taught what love is unconditionally, even by showing it, and how she could beat a person up. I watched my sister beat a person up, and 2 days later be their friend, schooling them and be their best friend. So she was like, same thing I do today. She just was a person of, love come like that sometime. You don't understand it. I do now. But yeah, we won't say, if it was anything, Shorty taught me real love. That's why I say, with the sister thing, I see all my sisters, you and all of her in her. That's why I told my little brother Gaines, he gonna get enough healing with time, that the blessing gonna be that. I might have lost one, but I gained about 900 of them champs, including Paula Muhammad, rest in peace, and all these beautiful sister queen. And man, I could name so many sisters that I gained out of what we would say, Nicole. I mean, I've got, there's not enough ink pens for the sisters that I have gained. I've had to write it down. So, that love thing, I never, to want to say, I've never looked at them for the down part of their skirts. I always looked them for the beautiful of their heart because of my sister.
That was beautiful, Boom. You always make me laugh. And I just remember, and since you brought up our beautiful sister Paula, me and her used to have so many inside jokes about you. Like when I sent her that video when it went viral in the part with Kevin Hart, she cracked up laughing so hard. Like, oh my God, I still hear her and her sweet voice laughing her eyeballs off. Like, I love Boom. She was like, thank you for that. Made her day. That made her whole world. She was like, that's my brother. She said, I can hear him in my mind and all that. So, and I hear her in my mind. That was beautiful.
All the time.
Yeah,
all the time. We
Nicole,
all we got.
Hey, we all we need. And Nicole, I want to ask you real quick, what's a beautiful memory of your beautiful baby girl, and also that maybe that even though I know you didn't get to meet your father-in-law, but something that you might have heard or something that your husband shared with you that was one of like his beautiful moments of his father. Mic check.
Well, mic check. Well, with my husband and his father, they used to like to crack jokes and stuff. And he said that my father-in-law was one of the funniest people that he ever wanted to meet. I just love to sit there and listen to him tell me stories about the things that him and his father used to do, all the way down to if he would fall down or something and he would just bust out laughing at himself when he fall. And he like, that's not your part. You're not supposed to be laughing. You the one on the ground. You know, so I just love to hear the stories about that. And with my daughter, my most wonderful times was just to sit there and listen to her sing. That girl had a voice from heaven. I couldn't hold a candle to my daughter as far as singing at all.
Wow. But thank you, Queen. That made me laugh. And I want to share two memories of two of my brother as well as my cousin Tavon. And this kind of linked into it. So my big brother Tyrone, he would always have this art club because he loved drawing. He was an artist and he would always like invite us. And I was the only girl. Like I grew up around a bunch of guys, like that's why, I know how to handle my own because they raised me well. So I was like the only girl, like even though we had other like female cousins, but I was always closer to them. Like it was always us, and then we would watch over like my other cousins, Jamie and Kiana. They like the babies, so we would watch over them or whatever. But long story short, my brother would have a club and I would always want to come up there with them. And he'd be like, do you want to join the club? You have to say your first and your last name, and he'll let you know if you're in a membership. And he'll make you say it. Every time I get excited, he'd be like, what's your name? And I'm like, Tawanda. He'd be like, Tawanda what? I'm like, Tawanda Jones. He like, you kicked out. Like he would never. And they'd bust out laughing, send me out the room. And I'd be like, man, each and every time I thought I was a part of that art club, he would kick me out there. And my cousin Tavon and my cousin Neil, they'd be cracking up, crying, laughing. So that was like one of my good memories of my brother. And then another memory I had with my cousin Tavon was like we was little, because we all like lived in a house together with my grandmother. And by the way, tomorrow was my grandmother's heavenly birthday. Unfortunately, I lost my beautiful queen last year, and that's the real time. It's just like, God, please eat some. I need like some blessings for all this pain, but nevertheless. And we be at grandma's house just chilling. And I remember we had this little thing we called the peek hole. It was like a little small hole in the floor that we could actually see in the basement with my uncle. And I would watch my cousins take spitballs and like spit down in the lower hole. And my uncle be hitting at the air thinking something was falling from the ceiling. And we be up there. I'd be crying, laughing like so. That was like beautiful moments with my brother and my cousin Tavon. Like nobody can never, and that's the good part about our memories. No one, even though they take our loved ones, they can never ever take the memory, the love, or none of that from us. So I'm just glad that we got the good part out as well as just like going off of here sad, traumatized, even though we all, we go through it or whatever, but I'd rather us go off on a good note. And now I kind of want to switch the thing real quick and pretty much, you okay, Nicole?
My hours.
Okay, I'm making sure you weren't tearing up over there. Okay, but before we go to the sad homicide list tonight as well as the police brutality list, I want to give a big shout out to the West Coalition for making this night happen. Even though we had all these technical issues, I want to give a big shout out to our brother Ryan, who was like, y'all ain't gonna play with me if you want. Like, and he came through. I want to give a big shout out to my brother Boom that always had my back no matter where I go. I'm glad to see you, my brother. But I never judged. All I kept doing was saying, is my brother okay? That's all I kept on doing was worrying myself crazy. But thank God for Hillary, because Hillary kept reassuring me, right? She kept saying, oh, Boom is doing good, and I was like, that's all I need to know. I ain't need to know nothing else, but you was doing okay, and I was good with that. So it's always a pleasure. Oh, it's always a pleasure. And earlier we had Angela and Q, and it's always a pleasure to have our sister Angela with us. So again, we get ready to go over to the sad, unfortunate homicide list, and then or community violence list. Um, I say homicide because we don't know with all these, like, it's just really sad. And I just want to say this, and these are my views. This is not
I know where you're getting at.
coalition. This is Tawanda Jones' views. I just feel like with all these homicides that are outrageous right now, and see the point. I don't now. I don't went to. I used to like watching the weather. I can't even watch the weather because every time you hearing about somebody getting shot, you hearing about some stuff, you hearing about this. It's just too traumatized. So it's like I'll just get the weather from my phone. Or sometimes I'm curious, like let me see what's going on. But every time I turn on the news, some poor family member is losing their loved ones, and that's disgusting to me. And all we can hear is the man, the commissioner, say we got to do better. No, everybody got to do better. And I want y'all to keep in your minds and hearts. Right now, election time is on the rouse. We need to be really clear on who we put in office, because at the end of the day, none of these people are doing their jobs. Everybody is letting us down. I'm just going to say it. Everybody is letting us down. It's like nobody's coming to save us. You know what I mean? Just like Boom just said, we all we got, we all we need. And it's just sad, but that has been, that has been it for me. Like to help me get through this struggle, these whole not this nightmare that I never asked to be a part of, but just knowing that we have each other, the love that we have, that we as a coalition, as a family, just provide to one another. That's excellent. But just looking at these people, we got to do better. We got to make better. We need to hold each and everybody accountable before they go into office. It's just sad, but again, just I want us to take a minute, guys, 1 minute, just for time's sake, 1 minute, 60 seconds for both lists that you're about to hear. We're gonna hear a community violence list. We're gonna hear a police brutality list, and together it's the highway of hell. Nobody deserves to be brutally murdered, executed. Nobody family deserves that. Because in a blink of an eye, your life changed forever. So let's show our homage. Let's show our respect. If you pray, let's say a prayer in this minute. I'm sorry. And if you don't pray, that's fine too. Just keep them in thoughts. Let's think of ways to send love and good vibes through the atmosphere. So let's take 1 minute, guys. Starting now. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. Mic check.
Thank you guys so much. So I'm gonna turn it over to our brother Brian. And as always, I thank you, brother Brian, for have to do this every day. You're committed, not every day, but every week you're on here, or even when you're not in, our space, you always provide the list. You take your time to provide the list to uplift our loved ones, because at the end of the day, we are more than hashtags and body bags, more than pictures and buttons on a t-shirt. Our lives matter. So thank you, my brother Brian. Mic check.
Mic check.
Thank you, Tawanda. Thank you, Tawanda, and always want to honor you for all the work that you do for to keep this space open and to make this place where we can come and struggle against the empire that's trying to keep us all down. So this week here in Baltimore, we've had a few murders, and I'm just going to read the names out, and if you can just echo them back, we'll just try to remember these people and lift them up in that way. So beginning on the 21st of this month, Donta Wheeler.
Donta Wheeler.
On the 22nd, Jeremiah Williamson.
Jeremiah
Williamson.
Marquise Jordan.
Marquise
Jordan.
On the 23rd, Robert Brown.
Robert Brown.
On the 25th, Devin Nathaniel Brown.
Devin
Nathaniel
Brown.
Brown.
On the 26th, two young men were apparently killed on Frankfurt Avenue. Their names have not been released.
I'm sorry to praise it.
And I'm sorry, just to let you guys know, the Ceasefire does a lot of work with the West Coalition as well and uplifting us. So we're going to say things a little different when we hear that. Nicole will be leading that off. So can you tell us what we're going to say, Queen?
That's why I was trying to, it escaped me. It's a lot going on and I forgot what it is I'm supposed to say for this particular part. If you can remind me.
Okay, so I'll ask our brother Ben, because I know it was something about ceasefire or something. I don't want to
I think that's what it was.
Baltimore ceasefire.
Yeah.
Yes. Please forgive me. It slipped my mind.
So go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So in memory of the two people who were killed on the 27th here in Baltimore.
Ceasefire.
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 Tawanda.
Yes.
It was a young man by the name of Dante Perez, out of Pennsylvania, Blue Ridge or Blue River, PA. He was found hung last Saturday on Juneteenth. It's very big in PA right now. He was hung on Juneteenth, and of course, the allegations are very, very sketchy, and it is a hanging. But of course, they are doing best of what they can do. His first Dante, middle name Perez. Don't want to mess up the last name, but yes, that is that's the same thing that was going on. Hanging were going on before COVID, but of course it shut it down. So we got some big issues, but Dante is a name that is on Juneteenth, was hung in Pennsylvania.
Dante
Perez.
Dante.
And lastly, in Baltimore, on the 27th, McCone Hines.
Hines. Thank you so much, Brother
Thank you.
Pine. And now tonight we have our beautiful Queen sister Hillary, who's going to handle the police brutality list. And I want to just thank our beautiful Queen, who always helps us out when Uncle Bill is not available to read the list. She always steps in, and not only just to read the list, but she just steps in to help us with any and everything that we need to do. So my hat goes out off to you, Queen, and I'm giving you the mic check.
Mic check. Okay, so thank you to Bill for giving us this list of killings by the police all over this country. And again, as Tawanda says, we always want to remember the families, and for each name, we know that they're family and community who have lost someone, and we want to pay them respects. So the first date that we'll start with, this list goes from June 19th all the way to June 27th, and there are 23 names. So let's prepare ourselves for that, and I'll start now. So on June 19th, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 58-year-old Frank Batty.
Frank
Batty.
On June 19th, in Coburn, Virginia, 38-year-old Jason Neal Puckett.
Jason
Neal.
On June 20th, in Polka City, Oklahoma, an unidentified man.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Killer cops.
Thank you, Nicole. On June 20th, in Fairbanks, Alaska, 57-year-old Amos Lane.
Amos Lane.
On June 21st, in Norfolk, Virginia, 41-year-old Antonio Beekman.
Antonio Beekman.
Beekman.
On June 21st in Smith County, Texas, 25-year-old Taylor Ray Stevenson.
Taylor Ray Stevenson.
On June 21st in Adelanto, California, an unidentified person. It didn't identify what their gender was.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Killer cops.
Cell block for killer cop. Ashe.
Ashe.
On June 21st in Fontana, California, an unidentified male.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Cell blocks for killer cops.
Killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe. On June 21st in Lima, Ohio, 43-year-old Quincy J. Pritchett.
Quincy J.
J.
J. Pritchett.
Pritchett.
On June 21st, Blue Hill, Maine, 27-year-old Peter Pfister.
Peter
Pfister.
Peter.
On June 22nd, in San Jose, California, 29-year-old Raymond Calderon.
Raymond
Calderon.
Raymond Calderon.
Calderon.
On June 22nd, in Albion, Michigan, 42-year-old Jason Dodds.
Jason
Dodds.
Jason
On
Dodds.
June 22nd, On June 22nd, in Houston, Texas, 29-year-old man, name not identified or listed yet.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Cell blocks for killer cops.
Ashe.
Okay. Also, on June 22nd, in Thomaston, Georgia, 49 years old, Timothy Charles Gravett.
Timothy
Charles
Gravett.
Charles Gravett.
On June 23rd, in Jackson Township, Pennsylvania, 59-year-old Keith Carroll.
Keith Carroll.
Carroll.
Also, on June 23rd, in Salisbury, North Carolina, 46 years old, Stephen Ray Johnson.
Stephen Ray Johnson.
Stephen Ray Johnson.
On June 24th, in Topeka, Kansas, an unidentified man.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe.
On June 24th, in Savannah, Georgia, 31 years old, Saudi Arai Lee.
Bobby.
Can you say his name once more?
Bobby Arai.
Right.
Yep. His name was Saudi Arai Lee.
Bobby
Arai.
Lee.
Arai.
On June 24th, in Guernsey County, Ohio, a 47-year-old woman, but they haven't released her name yet.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
On June 24th, in Lake Placid, Florida, 68 years old, Robert W. McNamara.
Robert W.
Robert
McNamara.
W. McNamara.
On June 25th, in Grant, Valcaria, Florida, 42 years old, Curtis Kimbrough.
Curtis Kimbrough.
Kimbrough.
Curtis Kimbrough.
Okay. On June 26th, in Pueblo, Colorado, male, unidentified.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
And the last one, on June 27th, in Akron, Ohio, a male, unidentified.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hillary. And I thank everybody for tuning in. And if you're watching this on YouTube, we ask that you hit the share, like, and subscribe. And if you're on Facebook, you can hit the like and also share. Thank you, guys. I know that police brutality is not a popular topic, because if I was talking about anything else, we would get like over 1 billion reviews and all types of stuff. But it is real. It can actually hit your door. And right now, we're still demanding Marilyn Mosley. We want an answer. We demand an answer. We're not going to let you walk into this election or walk out of it without an answer. We need an answer. And I just want to thank all the guests and everybody that took their time. I want to thank our brother Ryan. Thank you so much. I'm always sending you love. I'm only a phone call away. You know how to reach me any and every time. I'm sending lots of love. And Brother Boom brought that fire back. Like, just like our sister Dina said, just felt like one of our old West Wednesdays, like from back in the day. Like, so thanks, Brother Boom, for that. And then also thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Hillary. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Brian. Just thank everybody for tuning in. Thanks, Uncle Bill, for being able to put our brother Ryan on, even though we were having technical issues, a lot of technical issues. So as we brought you guys in with that horrible video, right? That's the way, unfortunately, we got to leave you with that horrible video. But as I close out, my closing words is I just want to let you guys know we are more than hashtags and body bags. We're more than pictures in the dirt and buttons and pictures on T-shirt. Our lives matter. It may not matter to the people that are taking our lives daily, whether it's through community violence, through police brutality. It's all hand in hand. Someone loved one is not there anymore, and their loved one now is a man. We're more than that. So again, thank you, and just tune into this video, because at the end of the day, this needs to be addressed. This whole issue. We're not showing you this video for entertainment. We're showing you this video for you guys to do something. Call Marilyn Mosley office and demand that she give us answers. She is why we're not getting any answers. The top prosecutor right now, I don't care who's trying to go for her seat. I'm not even entertaining none of that, even though we will be going around, interviewing all these elected officials to see what their thoughts are and to hold them accountable as well. But meanwhile, hold her accountable while she's in office. Marilyn Mosley, do your job. Thank you guys for tuning in. Live to love, love to live, and I love you all. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
And Mr. West begging for his life, and Mr. Salam begging for his child to be excluded and comforted from what was taking place. Not for himself, but for his 3-year-old child.
Case number 4, Adina Britt and family, September 10th, 2015.
My name is Adina Britt, and I wanted to submit a 30-second testimonial that Jorge Omar Bernardez Ruiz is one of the 11 terrorists that came into my house performing a home invasion in September 2015, terrorizing my entire family and even holding my 12-year-old son at gunpoint. He needs to be stopped.
Case number 5, unidentified arrestee, assaulted in 2016.
I suggest you back the fuck up.
No, why you
Again, this video did not surface until the summer of 2020. Case 6, Thomas McCullough, May 2016 and February 2017.
I heard my front door coming off the hinges like it exploded.
Thomas McCullough says it happened twice. In May 2016 and February 2017, Baltimore City Police burst through his green front door and raided his Pimlico home.
They said, police. They come up, shotguns, guns.
He says officers ransacked the place, looking for drugs, money, and weapons. He took pictures of the damage he says they left behind.
Tell us where the drugs are, the scales, the guns, and the large amounts of money.
Nothing was found. Now he's suing police, claiming officers, including a former member of the Gun Trace Task Force, frightened him, his wife, and father-in-law when the officers conducted what his suit calls an illegal search of his home. The owner of the house tells 11 News after the second raid, he had to replace the front door. McCullough and his attorney say they want Baltimore police held accountable.
There is a colossal breach of trust.
And McCullough tells us following both raids, no one was arrested or charged.
This all begs the question, when will Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby see the prosecution of Bernardez Ruiz as warranted?
They were the stopping officers in these so-called jump-out cars, unmarked and so forth, that stopped both the West vehicle and the Salon vehicle without probable cause. And these officers are the ones that also were joined by others, but they are the ones who initiated the stops, pulled both men out of the vehicles, and commenced the vicious activity that was thrust upon them.
And the officer Ruiz that started this attack is still working and working with promotions. He is now sergeant. But the fact that this repeat violent offender had a history leading up to my brother. There was Darrell Harris, there was James Green, Joseph Green, Abdul Salam, and my sister Dina and her family. No one family deserves to be brutally murdered or brutalized by this repeat violent offender Ruiz. It is time we take action. The time is now.
Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz is a repeat violent offender. Based on these accounts, in accordance with the law, we, the West Coalition, call for him to be fired, prosecuted, and incarcerated.
We're more than hashtags and body bags. We're more than being 6 feet in the dirt and pictures and buttons on t-shirts. Our lives matter.
For the safety of our city, the prevention of further harm, and the justice for these families, we see no other option.
And again, I'll say, the time is now.